The conditional tense in the English language is easy. We basically use it to describe situations or possibilities in the future. Unfortunately, these possibilities aren't very probable. So, for example, I could say, I would buy a car if I had money. But unfortunately, perhaps at the moment, I don't have enough money to buy a car. We use the word would when we are using the conditional tense. I'd like you to listen to the following conversation between two girls talking about what they would do if they won the lottery. Try to find the use of the word would throughout the conversation. You may see it as a full word, or you may see it as a contraction, like I'd, which means I would. Hey Anna, did you know that the last person who won the Euro Millions was a UK resident and they won over 100 million euros?
That is so much money, I can't even imagine that.
I know, I don't know what I would do with that. If you won the lottery, Anna, what would you do?
Oh, that's such a hard question. I would travel everywhere in the world, eat food everywhere in the world, then I would start a restaurant, and then probably start a dance studio
That's exciting. Where would you travel?
everywhere. Just
But
literally
like,
every single country on this planet.
whoa. Do you think that 100 million, actually, I was going to ask you if 100 million euros is enough, but I think I can't even imagine the quantity of money. I'm sure it is enough, but my goodness.
Like, it
Mhm,
must be.
mhm.
I would definitely start from Eastern Asia and Australia, just because those are so far away and I find them so interesting. And definitely
Mm,
financially, I think it's not really realistic for me to go traveling there now.
mm.
So they would be really interesting to travel to. What about you?
That's a good question. I think my first, I'm very boring, Anna, you have to understand. My priority would be to like buy a house.
Ah!
I think that would be the first thing that I would go for, simply because I don't know, the idea of having your own house sounds so cool, you know? But I think the real question is, where would I buy it? I wouldn't want a really big fancy, millionaire's house with like a crocodile in the garden and 50 stories. That would be very boring. I think I would just buy one of those beautiful houses in the south of Spain where you can see the beach and you have a terrace where you can sip wine and do nothing. But even
Oh.
then, I would still have 99 million euros left, so I just don't think I can answer the question.
You could afford the most expensive bottle of olive oil in the supermarket.
And make the most expensive salad.
Oh, yeah. I always dream of buying the most expensive things at the supermarket.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But you said that you wanted to have your own restaurant. Why's that?
I love cooking. I love
Mm-hmm.
cooking, and the idea of having your own little restaurant. I wouldn't want like a big fancy Michelin star restaurant, but just like a cute small maybe Italian restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Is that your favorite kind of food to cook?
Italian. Yeah, it's definitely the one that I can master, I would say.
Okay, okay. Yes, you'll have to let me try some of your pizzas one day, huh?
Definitely.
But this person, so the person that I was telling you about before,
Mm,
that has won 100 million euros, he has decided to remain anonymous. Why do you think that he might do something like that?
that's interesting. I mean, the first reason that comes to mind is that he doesn't want everyone around him to know that he suddenly has a lot of money. I wouldn't want everyone to know that I have a lot of money
Mm,
immediately. I mean, it depends on like your friends and your family, but money can be a really like a sore spot for many
yeah,
people.
that is a really good point. A lot of people, when they win the lottery or when they talk about winning the lottery, they always say that they will give lots of money to their family or their friends to help them. But perhaps people remain anonymous for this reason, know that they're actually too scared to tell their friends the truth. Would you give money to your family or friends if you won the lottery?
It depends. I would definitely give money to my family. But friends, I don't know. I guess it would depend on the friend, but I wouldn't just probably go around giving money to everyone. If I were to give my money away to people, I would probably either donate to a charity, and give the money to people who actually really need it, rather than just handing it to my friends who probably have jobs and ways to
Yeah,
make
I think
money.
it kind of creates a weird complex with your friendships as well. And perhaps more people would want to be your friend that are not actually interested in you as a person, but they're more interested in your money. And I don't think I would like that personally. Yeah, that's a good point.
And you wouldn't know who's there for like real reasons and who's
Yeah.
there for the
I mean,
money.
that's why all these celebrities say that they don't trust anybody anymore. Perhaps that's the reason why. I have another question for you. A lot of these people that win very, very big quantities of money. So obviously, we're not talking about 1,000 euros, 2,000 euros, more the people that win millions and millions. Some of them spend it all immediately and are as poor as when they started, before they won the lottery. Why do you think that sort of thing could happen?
That's really interesting. I think maybe people don't even realize that they're spending so much money. Maybe if you haven't had a lot of money and then suddenly you get so much money, you almost become blind to like all the costs and you just think about all the things that you want to have, you need to have. Maybe you don't think about it that much about the purchases because all you're thinking about is I can afford everything now. So you don't have to
Hmm.
actually really think through every purchase.
I think it's definitely plausible. I mean, if you consider it this way, traveling around the world, it will be harder to spend this higher quantity of money. But normally, when people win the lottery, their first thing to do is buy ridiculously expensive cars, give all of their money away to family and friends, and buy lots of houses and material things. But then, after they have purchased these things, they find themselves without any money and they don't have enough money to maintain what they have already purchased, like houses and cars. So after that point, they begin to lose all of their money and they are actually poorer than before they won the lottery. It's quite a sad situation.
Yeah, it definitely is. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, the bills for really huge houses must be insane.
Yeah, yeah. I guess your ability to make the most out of this money that you win from the lottery depends on if you are a spender or a saver. Would you say that you are a spender or a saver, Anna?
I think that in my current situation, I am maybe just a bit more of a spender than a saver. I think one of my worst qualities is that I don't really think through all of my purchases. If I see something and I really want it, even though I maybe can't really afford it, I will still get it. It's
Okay.
not really a good thing. I would like to be a saver, and I think if I had over €1 million, I would probably become a saver because I
Okay,
would
okay.
be really protective of all my new money.
That's interesting. So, Anna, does that mean that you have never experienced buyer's remorse?
Buyer's remorse, what does that mean?
Buyer's remorse is, well, this is something that happens to me all the time, so I'm very familiar with it. It's when you purchase something, it doesn't have to be expensive, but it definitely can be, and you immediately feel bad about what you bought. Maybe you regret it, or maybe you just think that you are silly for buying something that you wanted. Buyer's remorse affects me in basically the majority of my personal purchases. Would you say that you have this?
Sometimes, definitely. I think with maybe riskier purchases, larger purchases, maybe I invest in something like a guitar. and I'm not sure if I'm actually going to play, and then I start playing and it's hard and I start regretting buying the guitar.
Yeah, I think that's happened to me before as well. It's always musical instruments, isn't it, where you think that you're going to be the master of the instrument and then you buy it, you just forget that it exists, and then you think, oh, why did I spend my money on this thing?
Yeah, definitely. What about you? Are you a spender or a saver?
Well, I think that deep down in my heart, I would love to be a spender because I love spending money too. But it's as you said, everybody has their own different economic situation now. And in my personal case, I would say I'm more of a saver simply because I'm always trying to prepare for what's going to happen next. I'm one of those people who catastrophizes. Have you ever heard of this term?
No, I haven't.
Well, catastrophizing is basically when you assume the worst case scenario in every single thing that you do. So I'm always very worried about what happens if I lose my job? What happens if I lose this expensive item or I drop my phone in the toilet? It can be ridiculous things. It's always something absolutely ridiculous. So I'm always trying to save up for the worst case scenario. So if I won the lottery, I think I would be one of those idiots who puts all of the money in the bank account. But I guess it's hard to say unless one of us actually wins.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the chances of winning are rather low.
Yes. One could say we win lottery in other ways,
What do you mean?
like making really great friends.
I suppose so. It seems a little bit cynical to say that I would disagree with that, though. But what do you mean though? Like it's like luck that you have met somebody so good and so nice.
Yes.
Oh, would you say that you won the lottery by meeting me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I cannot say the same. I'm just kidding. I'm
Okay,
just
I'm turning
kidding.
my mic off now.
And I'm disconnecting and I'm leaving you forever. I think that really, if I were to make a recommendation to the world, it would be to perhaps not play the lottery so much in order to, I don't know, save some money for yourself. By playing the lottery, you're spending all of your money. What's the point, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just go and get yourself a bag of sweets. That's €1, isn't it? But, anyways, thank you very much for answering my questions. And I hope that everybody listening has learned some interesting information about lottery winners in the UK.
Yes.
All right. See you later, everybody. Bye bye.
See you later. Bye.